Dear board members of Froyo Capital, wherever you are watching this, we have good news for you. My name is Xiaofei.
And my name is Cheng. We are principals with the Foreign Investment Division. Recently, India's Tata Group has put out news about a foreign investment opportunity with Tata Motors, and we intend to bid on it. Let us now walk you through this view, beginning with the current situation. So how did such a large company get stumped by such a small vehicle? Well, the cost structure of the automobile industry is such that much is spent on design and testing, as well as infrastructure development, even before the first unit of the Nano is produced. We estimate a high fixed cost of $345 million that is incurred. Tata earns back some of these fixed costs every time it sells a unit of the Nano. However, to completely break even on the high R&D costs, 738,000 cars have to be sold. Right now, $320 million of investment is outstanding, and Tata Nano is only producing at 37% of its factory's capacity. From this, we can conclude that India alone is not enough to finance Tata Nano. Tata has to export to overseas market around the world in order to generate the revenue to defray these fixed costs.
That is where we come in. Why do we think that there's business potential in this 2,500 car? Let's look at some of its features. In the life cycle of a car, the upfront cost of the car is only 1/3 of the total cost. Increasing significant are the fuel cost and maintenance cost. According to BP's latest energy outlook, sales of fuel-efficient hybrid cars may have got off to a sluggish start, but ownership is set to explode to account for more than half of the all vehicles sold by 2030. Hence, we believe that Tata Nano has immense business potential. Our proposal will comprise two segments. We will advise on the expansion, and we will also consider the venture's financial needs and how we can provide funding.
We will start by finding a good target market to export the Nano to. In deciding which market to export the Nano, we once again recall the various features offered by the Nano. Keeping these competencies in mind, we have decided on 6 evaluation criteria to evaluate the ideal export market. In particular, market size and market growth are important because this will help us to drive volumes, which will help us to defray the fixed costs that's incurred for Tata Nano. In addition, environmental awareness, fuel costs, as well as population density allow us to leverage on the Tata Nano's competencies to sell more units. Finally, we'll look at purchasing power per capita of between $10,000 to $30,000. These are some of the countries that we have evaluated. And finally, we have determined Brazil to be the best destination for this export venture. Recently overtaking Germany to become the 4th largest auto market in the world, Brazil has both the ideal purchasing power for the Nano as well as the large market size. Its environmental awareness, fuel costs in the country also adds to our advantage. With a strong compounded annual growth rate of 9% over the past 5 years, Brazil is the ideal candidate to grow Tata Motors from strength to strength. We shall now turn to the optimal business structure for this export venture. We begin our analysis of the business structure with a market analysis. Specifically, we will focus on both supply side as well as from the perspective of the markets. Critical issues on the supply side include coordinating an additional plant in Brazil and the need for local supply chain management. Furthermore, extensive bureaucracy and paperwork as well as a high auto import tax also means that an extensive local presence is necessary to address these issues. The car market in Brazil is dominated by big players such as Ford and Volkswagen. To carve out our own niche in this market, we have to understand the local market well. Furthermore, 3 distinct components make up the value chain of new cars. We are most competent at manufacturing, but we also have to source for partners to assist us in the other 2 segments. In addition to supply side and markets, we have used potential revenue, risks, as well as costs to evaluate the best business structure. The result is that we feel a collaboration with a Brazilian car distributor will be the best way for us going forward. We can avoid the high distributor costs associated with an export model as well as to capitalize on the local partners' domestic know-how.
We shall talk about how the joint venture operations will work. Tata suppliers are all over the world. They supply different parts of Tata's auto vehicles, and these different parts will then be transported to and assembled in India. In order to bring Tata Nano from India to Brazil, we will enter a joint venture with Brazilian car importer and distributor SHC Group. The collaboration with SHC will streamline Tata's operations in export, distribution, as well as after-sales services, and we propose a share split for Tata's Brazil venture as following: 20% to Froyo Capital, 29% to SHC, and 51% to Tata itself.
To maintain Tata's image as a premier Indian corporation, as well as to ensure sustainable growth, Tata has asked us to give recommendations on corporate social responsibility. We have identified 3 priorities for Tata in terms of CSR, and they are preserving the natural environment, developing the rural economy, and emission and overcrowding control. Here are our recommendations. In particular, we would like to highlight our recommendations for emission and overcrowding control. Since the Tata is priced so low, the concern is that overwhelming response may cause overcrowding and high CO2 emission. Considering this, the Tata Nano should adhere to the highest CO2 emission standards. We also suggest that Tata to face the introduction of the Nano in terms of transport infrastructure. So how do we sell the Nano in Brazil? Revisiting our core competencies, 2 key value propositions of the Nano are low lifecycle cost and environmentally friendliness. As such, our position for the Nano shall focus on delivering value.
Most existing cars in the Brazil market reside along the diagonal of 1:1 ratio in cost performance. Hence, Tata Nano will focus on a high cost performance ratio. It is readily available to the poor guys, yet also delivers satisfactory performance. This is the marketing mix we will adopt. Placement will mostly be handled by SHC Brazil, and hence we will only focus on price, product, and promotion. In order to sustain Tata Nano's price advantage, cost-plus pricing strategy should be adopted to ensure a lowest price possible. A reasonable price to sell will then be around $4,600, which is high enough to sustain Tata's exporting business and low enough to stave off its potential competitors. Regarding product design, considering the differences in India's and Brazil's GDP per capita, we feel that Tata Nano premium version will best cater to the mass market needs in Brazil. The basic features will enable Tata Nano Brazil to maintain its low price and have high fuel efficiency. On top of that, in order to deliver maximum value to the Brazilian market, we have decided to incorporate additional features to Tata Nano Brazil as well. So Tata Nano Brazil will include functional features, including enhanced engine system, built-in FM radio, and air conditioning, airbag. So the Tata Nano Brazil model will need just $3 of energy resource to drive 124 miles. To promote Tata Nano Brazil effectively, we advise Tata to go through 3 marketing channels. Firstly, TV commercials. The number of households with TV in Brazil has been on an exponential rise since year 2000. As the most readily accessible marketing channel, TV commercials will have the greatest impact on the Brazil market. The design of Tata Nano commercials should focus on the theme of affordability. For example, the purchase of Tata Nano could feature a happy family moment. It will appeal to the Brazil market too, considering the emphasis on family traditions among Brazilians. Another effective promotion tool, as we have identified, is YouTube. YouTube's penetration in the market is impressive. It has the 6th biggest YouTube audience in the world, reaches 79% of Brazilian internet users. And we also advise Tata to participate in Brazil Automobile Trade Show so as to truly bring the real touch of Tata Nano to the Brazil market.
Before we conclude the presentation, let us briefly go through the financial details of this deal. The initial investment required is $100 million. This is based on the working capital requirement of Tata Motors. We finance this investment through a combination of common and preferred equity using the equity structure as shown. In addition, we also provide $80 million of funding through preferred equity. This will yield 2.5% for the first 3 years and 6% thereafter. We aim to capture 3% of the Brazilian car market initially, which is about 108,000 vehicles. Subsequently, we will grow at a compounded annual growth rate of 5%. In terms of contribution, each unit of Tata Nano sold will contribute an amount of $435, similar to the Indian product. This will give us an initial revenue of $500,000 and will allow us to break even in 3.5 years. In summary, our investment in Tata Nano will yield us over 8 years a net present value of $49.2 million. This includes a constant stream of dividend income that we will receive. Furthermore, we will gain exposure to the lucrative South American and Indian markets, which will position us to clinch similar deals in the future. With these advantages, we strongly recommend that the board accept our proposal to collaborate with Tata Motors. Thank you.